day it is? No, what day is it?
It's Pi Day. Do you know what that means? Neither do I. Let's find out.
Splendid.
Pi Day. What does it all mean? That's what we're going to deal with today. We're going to learn about pi by conducting interviews, doing experiments, and telling lame jokes. First, we're going to have an interview with a very important American figurehead, Abraham Lincoln.
Good morning, Mr. Abraham Lincoln.
Why, hello there, Ben. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Now, speaking of today, what do you know about Pi Day?
Ah, Pi Day. I remember Pi Day. We had Pi Day every other Wednesday. I really enjoyed Pi Day. My mama's pie was like no other, especially the apple.
Excuse me, Mr. Abraham Lincoln, but that's not what I meant. I was referring to the quantity of pie.
Well, we had a rather large quantity of pie. There was a lot of us.
No, I mean pi, the irrational number.
I know an irrational number. The number of people in my family was quite irrational. Why, I had more siblings than I could readily count on one hand. But anyway, pie. I like pie. Pie is very nice. It comes in a rather large variety of flavors.
Well, that wasn't really very helpful. I'll have a go. I've got President Bush on video conference. Good morning, Mr. George W. Bush. I would like to discuss the mathematical value of pi. Now, we can talk about the historical significance of pi, or the theoretical application of it and other irrational numbers, or anything else that relates to pi. What would you like to talk about? George? George? Back to you.
Back to you, Dan.
Right, so, what is pi good for? Well, let's talk measurement. Now, Ben will measure the perimeter of a regular object.
$11. 10. 11. 10. The perimeter of the book is 42.
There you go. Measuring the perimeter of an object with straight lines is easy. You just add. And sometimes there's even an easy formula to make it even more simple. Now, Ben will measure the surface area.
$11. 10. The surface area is 110.
So there you are. Length times width equals surface area. Measuring the surface area and perimeter of stuff with straight lines is easy. Even Bob Dole can do it. But what about round objects? You can't just measure the side. They're round. So what do you do?
Pi! But before we can use pi, we need to know what it is.
The approximate value of pi is 3.14159265534.
Pi is really long. In fact, it is an irrational number, which means it never seems to end. Just like math class. Yet, while, believe it or not, math class actually does end most of the time, pi has no end in sight. It has been counted to billions of digits and most likely won't end. Why not? Well, pi is a ratio. Ratio between a circle's diameter and its circumference. A perfect circle cannot actually be defined because the physical universe limits us to only straight lines, even if these lines are as small as the lines between one atom and the next, or even smaller. Now, Ben and Donk will use pi to find the surface area and the circumference of a circular object.
Now that we know the diameter, we can use pi formulas to determine the circumference and surface area. When we multiply the diameter and the value of pi, we find the circumference. In this case, it's 35. The radius is half of the diameter. The radius squared multiplied by the value of pi equals the surface area. In this case, 133. There are other formulas for 3D figures. However, for 2D figures, the most important ones are pi times the diameter and pi r squared.
Hold on there, Sonny. I may not be the most educated man in the Union, but I know for certain pi are not squared. Indeed, pi are round.
So, there you are. This has been pi and all of its wonderful applications. Enjoy.